Just for the record, this is an audit of your company. Surprise audit.
Yeah.
We're trying to see how clean you keep things. What's up, YouTube? It's been way too long. Family and I went on a 2-week, 6,000-kilometer road trip in the U.S. And yes, this video, Columbus, Ohio. Part of the trip was to go to Kentucky. We got to see the ARC exhibit, super cool. And I really wanted to meet up with James. We've been chatting online for 3 years. So this Instagram meetup, pretty cool. So guys, take a look at this shop. He had some weird flickering LED lights. I did my best to try to cancel them out. Hope you can enjoy it throughout the video. I'm not a master at Final Cut Pro, but enjoy this chat where we discuss small business, our companies transitioned into TrueWork, and he opened up his business at the very same time. So it's really cool to see somebody like-minded in the business together. So enjoy this video, guys. See you next week.
All right, my name is James Benedetto. I'm the owner of Arborist Solutions and hopefully a good friend of Phil's. Let's take a look at the shop here. Gotta have the logo, you know. Come on in. This is our wall of Good Samaritans. We got 3 ISA certified arborists in a 7-person company. It's where we store our truck, our chipper. Once you come in a little bit, we got the office. We'll walk in there in a second, but then we kind of have like a work hangout spot slash, you know, in the summertime this tank won't be here, so this opens up a little bit, but this is where we have all our meetings. This is where we have our tailgate Tuesdays, any company meetings that we have. We're going to be implementing like a employee of the week's going to get a paid 20-minute time on the massage chair over there. And then when we come over here, we got good spot to put some boots on, and then we kind of get into some of our plant health care and supplies that we keep hanging around, so it's a little messy. Got our little knot tying station, giant thing of biochar. So we get over here, we got another bench, we got helmet charging station. That's a really nice sticker there. We got dead saws, all of our oils and all of our basic chemical stuff that we use. We got our air compressor, generator, all of our fuel stored up above, not in a canister or anything. Side plates for our trailer, toolbox, kind of labeled, kind of not labeled. Then this is where we normally work on our saws, actually get through them. Like, this is set up to be higher, so then when you're sharpening chainsaws, you're not bending over and all that. Tarps, tools, Avant attachments, and Avant.
Those some cool augers.
Yeah, we've never used them. There's always lines involved, so we hand dig most of the time. So we'll use those eventually, but haven't used them much. And then, yeah, I got the Avant 2017. We bought it slightly used, like it technically never had an owner. It was lent out by Bobcat, is the distributor of all the Avants in this area. And someone had a breakdown. Bobcat lent it to a tree company. The tree company just kept it for 2 years. No one knew that it was used. So then they took it back and went through it and then put it up for sale. So technically we're the first owners, even though it was.
And had how many hours on it?
400.
Wow.
So yeah, they kind of forgot about it.
And you're pretty happy with the 528. I mean, we have the 423, I guess it is, a little smaller. You're pretty happy with this?
Yeah, I mean, we could pick up a 5-inch caliper tree with it and move it around. So that's really what we bought it for. You know, the ability to move logs around and all that is an added feature, but we were having a really hard time putting in larger trees, like planting larger trees. So we needed something with a little more weight. Unfortunately, when we're in short gate situations, clients just have to get smaller trees, but you know, it's 52 inches wide, so that's a big difference probably with your equipment. Yeah, ours,
we'll keep the bigger tires on, but these are massive lawn tires compared to what we have. I might have to borrow this. We have some big cedar plantation job to do in the spring, and the trees are going to be probably close to 1,000 pounds, if not more, and I don't think our 423 will be able to do it, so I'll take this, please.
Yeah.
So what do you guys pull instead of back end? Is that just do 50-50, or sometimes you do one, sometimes is it for chipper maintenance?
I could show you the reason why we don't back in, which it's not terrible hard to back in, but at the end of the day, the sun comes down through the back. So if the mirrors are slightly dirty, you can't even see in the shop at the end of the day. And the negative aspect is our driveway comes downhill. So like as you look at the grade here, so when we're backing out, the trailer just wants to come with us. If we are backing in, the trailer really likes to try to go offset. So
yeah.
If this was all flat, it would probably be a little different.
Interesting. So like on our truck, we bought a reverse camera setup for the top up there, and I don't know how we would live without it. You got one. Oh, no one saw that. And we also have one installed right there on the hitch. It's just, of course, a little bit more complicated, I guess, with the switch and go, right? To have those kind of connections, but
no, it wouldn't be too bad. I guess with the switch and go, we'd have to have an easy like disconnect on the toolbox probably. So then whenever we disconnect, we have to do some things before we drop it off anyway. So that probably wouldn't be a big deal. We were gonna have one on the back, but our whole camera system that we have just died. So
oh boy.
But yeah, and then this truck has an upgraded like 50-gallon tank in comparison to a 30-gallon tank. What you like in our?
No, I like this. I'm building some stuff like this, like for this year systems, right?
Yeah.
A company can only grow so much until you really have to start getting things organized, right? So this is actually pretty cool to see what you guys have set up here. I mean, you have pretty much of like 50% living space in here and 50% working. We can't afford to do that. I feel like our shop is a lot more compact, but we are looking forward to having some sort of a little bit more organization over here where people can check things off. So what's this over here?
So Mac actually made all of these. So Mac's our general manager. We're a small company, so I don't want to say it's slightly overkill, but he has a business management degree and he's helping us with all of our things. So we have like a morning checklist that people will look at maybe once or twice a week, to be honest. And then we have an actual checklist. So Hank is this truck, and this is all the equipment that should be on it normally. So when we have this, you are just making sure, once or twice a week, we'll make sure that we have everything. Sometimes we'll see some things off, and we have it
plastified,
laminated. So then if there's something that's wrong, we could just check off like, hey, missing this, missing that, and then it will go to Mac, and then Mac will look at it.
No, that's good. I think that somebody has to be responsible for that, and like you as the owner, you can't do everything. So I don't really necessarily think it's overkill. You are pretty much assigning a task to someone. It might be overkill now, but in a couple of years, whenever you have maybe 2 doors here in the shop area and more employees, it's not going to feel like overkill. You're gonna be happy you started now.
Yeah, and we also have like these checklists are big. So we have like an order sheet. Like whenever we have to order new things, we kind of just keep track of what we have on hand. Our software is Single Ops, which is like kind of your service mate, or like other people use Jobber or all that. It's going to be doing inventory tracking, so that will probably get taken out, and then we'll just use it on the app. But then we also have a couple more checklists over here that I think are kind of worth going over. So these are more for the plant healthcare side. So when we're doing different services, we'll make sure that we have different things. So this is also kind of slightly outdated.
Who makes those?
Mac
makes those as well.
Yeah, they're slightly outdated because we switched to Rainbow from Arborjet, but so just a little outdated, but not really. It still is all really good information. And then we do a lot of tree growth regulator, and so we have the rate sheets with us to make sure that when we do the tree growth regulator both in this truck, like we'll load it in this truck and get it ready with our little AccuFlow. But then most of the time, plant healthcare person will go out and just do like 10 of them in a day, and they'll just keep this to track.
So this is your PhD setup.
Currently, it's going to be changing a little bit this year.
So we have the same size tank, same size engine. Our tank's essentially the exact same thing. The framing is a little bit different. We don't have like an agitator in it. Ours is kind of just spits in through the top. It spits out through the bottom a little bit. There's not a huge bunch of agitation, so we're only sticking to liquid-based fertilizers for now. But it's a pretty nice setup.
We do the same. We use liquid biochar. We used to try to use the granulated stuff, and this thing would just get clogged up like way too much. And then we use like liquid humate, liquid kelp meal, like all those sorts of things. We're going to be actually getting a system that will turn dry granular into liquid. That will be sometime either this year or next year, where we could get more custom made fertilizers for our soil type house.
So, how many trucks do you guys have in the company?
3 technically. 2 have logos on them, and one of them is the one that I drive around all the time.
And so where's the other one? Does one of your employees has it?
No, it's just sitting out there.
Okay.
It's Bruce.
Brucey.
Bruce, yep, Brucey. Yeah, and that one's mainly our plant healthcare, or we'll haul a trailer or haul equipment. You know, it's an F350, so it's not super high duty, but not also a low duty truck either. We'll be growing the fleet hopefully this year. It all depends on availability and finances.
Always. So this is cool. So the plan eventually is that you'd be able to unload this body on the switch and go and bring something back on there?
So yes, we can unload this setup. A lot of the time we'll take the top off if we're loading logs, or if we're doing a lot of planting. Like, we could just unscrew that top, like put it on the ground, unscrew it, and then pull it off with the Avant. The plan is to get a couple of these containers and make it so then if we're doing like a bigger removal job, we could just bring 2 containers, drop them in the yard, go pick up the chipper while everyone's setting up, and then chip, and then when we're done, just throw the logs into the dumpster style setup. So it will take a lot of driving for one person, but it will make it so then work can continue while the truck isn't there.
Okay. And you're happy with this storage? Like, what do you guys keep in here? You have some chainsaws and stuff? Is it we looked at a box similar to that. We settled on a different one, but
this one, I don't like this one because it has this spot in the middle, and that is a killer. It literally, like, when you want to use the second drawer, this thing is like in the way of that at all times. So it's not unorganized, but it's not like everything is just like so tight, and we've played Tetris a million times. So mainly Mac and Colin have kind of figured out what's working now. So this is our rigging side. So here we got rigging and chainsaw stuff. So we got the fuel, and then we use canola oil for our bar oil. We have our main rigging rope. This is just an Arbor Master. It's good for natural crotch. You know, we don't do that in pruning, but like anytime that we're removing limbs and stuff. We got a porter wrap, and then another basic rope setup. This is our Sirius line. We have another line somewhere in here, I believe. We got the GRCS on this side. We have a speed line kit. We got throw balls. And when we get up here, we have disinfectant if we have to disinfect our saws or anything. A bunch of like caution tape and things like that. And then we have, this bag is full of our GRCS drill, cabling and bracing drill, all of that. Then we got a couple poles up here. And
so where does everyone keep their climbing stuff and their climbing ropes and all that?
We'll go to the other side.
I'll go to the other side. Do you guys keep hedge trimmers on the truck?
No, we do not. Unfortunately, we don't do enough of the work, and we can't justify it with the space that we have. So if someone wants to add on hedge trimming, unfortunately, we'll have to come back. And normally that means that we're not coming back because people don't want to pay the trip charge. So unfortunately, no hedge trimmers stay on the truck. This side, ooh, this side's in rough shape. This side is where we keep our chainsaws, which normally they're not falling out. I don't know what happened with this whole thing here.
Just for the record, this is an audit of your company. Surprise audit.
Yeah.
We're trying to see how clean you keep things.
But this is Colin's climbing gear here. Normally I'll keep my climbing gear with me, or Mac's climbing gear could also fit in here. But he's got a couple. He's got 1 rope bag, 2 rope bag, extra thing hanging rope. He's got his entire Courant bag filled up. And then what's this? Oh, then another climbing rope.
Yeah.
So we just did a storm damage job, so it was kind of unpredictable.
It's kind of like how we do things. We'll have a climbing cabinet section on one side. We'll have all our hedge trimmers on the top, and on the other side we'll have all our battery saws. Anything that's gas, we have it on the undercarriage. So there's no gas products. There's some oil a little bit, but there's no gas in the top cabinet at all. So nothing cross contaminates and smells. So that's just how we've been able to organize it.
Yeah, and that's much nicer. And if we had a little more space, we would probably do that. We don't have the ability to, I mean, I guess we could probably put a little box there, but because the switching goes on here, we're really limited to what size boxes we could put because it can't interfere. So this is one of our gas climbing saws. We're getting kind of, we're changing up a little bit. So this is Collins.
You guys like orange saws, don't you, eh?
Yeah, we're a big orange saw company out here. We got a white saw. Hanging around somewhere. Then this is what we're gonna be switching to this year. We bought one to test out. It's been awesome.
You should probably just wait for the T542. It's gonna be released in the spring. It has a clutch on it, so it's gonna be a little bit more pricey, but
our friends at Our Obsession
hook you up.
we could place an order now and eventually they'll come in.
Good buddies. So that's cool. So you got your saws up in there and you got all your stuff. So how we operate is like we're 4 climbers in the company, Joe, James, Cameron, and I, and we had 2 trucks that were always flipping between, and we'd always mix and match who was on whose team. So we have like our generic climbing things in certain sections, right? So like all the rigging stuff would stay per truck, but we would have our climbing bags like on bigger backpacks and our rope. So if we knew what kind of tree it was, we would take our climbing gear and we'd take the specific rope we would want in the morning and assign it into our trucks, right? And then if you were stuck and you needed another rope, you could borrow one from another climber who would have excess. But that way we'd be able to just like, grab your bag and go.
Yeah, and that's a really good system. We are on our next truck build. It might look a little familiar to you when we get that one, but definitely much wider space, much more space. So that we, like, not only can we fit everything that we have in here, but also be able to individually grab things rather than, you know, if we want something that's
pull it
on
all
the other
out.
side, we have to pull everything out. If we want one of the climbing or if we want, you know, our largest saw or one of the climbing saws gets messed up, we have to pull everything out, take it, you know, and that might only be 5 minutes on a job or 10 minutes on a job throughout the whole job having to do that. But
that's repeatedly.
At the end of the year, that's weeks. So
what happens is you have to ignore the 2-foot cab and you have to go custom. No stock cabinets come at 2 feet. You'll have to get a 3-foot tunnel cab, as they'll call it, storage. And if you get a 3 foot wide, you'll be able to have a big door. Make sure you have good chains on it because that thing's gonna catch in the wind. But you'll be able to put so much stuff in there.
We're thinking 3 to 3.5, like
wow.
the same setup that you have. So if we were to get the truck that I want to get, it will be the next size up from this one. So this is a 20,000 pound truck that we have. So when fully loaded, it could be 20,000 pounds. We're gonna go to the 26,000 pound, I think, which is a much larger truck. They still have them with the smaller wheelbase, but we could put a 12-foot body on it and be able to fit a 3 to 4 foot size cabinet and still be all within range and load. The truck itself, instead of spending 60,000 on a new truck like this, it's going to be 90,000. So that's a big chunk of money. But to be able to haul more weight and have more tool storage, hopefully the truck will pay for itself.
Is it gonna be a 3-seater?
Yeah, just like this one.
Okay, cool. And that's another good thing to mention is that this is like a mobile garage, right? You're showing up, you're a tree mechanic, right? You guys take care of trees, you have bracing, you have cabling. You want to be a one-stop shop. You don't want to have to go back to the shop and pick up material. You have to think about this cabinet as a mobile garage. That's why on our primary chip truck, we have these long cabs on the side. We have rakes and cleanup cabinets, as we call them, in there as well. But if you prioritize storage, I think it's gonna really increase efficiency. We see so many chip trucks, like where we're from, where people have their blowers and their rakes and everything sticking out of there, and like that's fine to start, but if you can eventually start thinking a little bit more storage, that's gonna give you more stuff that you can bring to the job site and not be limited in your services. The more stuff you can fit on your truck, the better you can serve your clients.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to be able to add hedge trimming on easily without having to come back. You know, we don't want it to be a difficult thing for our clients. It just doesn't take priority over our cabling gear or our bracing gear or anything like that, because those are things that we see and we're like, well, if we can't fix that and a storm comes, well, then that tree is now gone.
Let's see inside the cab.
Yeah, and we got a couple other tools up here. Nothing fancy. Poles and pole pruner heads and spikes, and then we keep a reciprocating saw for root pruning and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and hop on that.
So it's an Isuzu, is that right?
This is a Nissan.
Nissan. I don't think I've seen this exact model where we're from.
Here's our little tool storage. This is important to talk with clients and stuff. You got to make sure you got one of those always on you. We do a lot of root pruning and a lot of work in the soil, so we have a lot of different blades down in here to take care of different root prunings. We use a reciprocating saw for 90% of our root pruning. We don't mess around with like oscillating tools or anything else. Pruners work too. We got a mallet in case we have to beat something, all that good stuff. We have a small emergency kit. We have cones on the chipper, but we like to keep this in case we're driving around.
Does anybody ride here sometimes?
No, but a lot of water bottles, so hopefully we never get in a big accident and we have giant water bottles.
You put helmets here?
Helmets actually hang perfectly up here. You just slide the clip in and then they just sit there. So yeah, we'll have the helmets all laying flat across the back. We got our battery bag. Got, I don't know, like 4 Husqvarna batteries total somewhere. And then we got some chargers and an inverter behind this seat over here, but it doesn't work anymore, so we won't even talk about it.
I can't believe we made it this far and we haven't even talked coffee yet, man. Where's your coffee machine?
It's a little weak.
Oh boy.
This is Cafe Arborist Solutions over here, and we got the quality Kroger brand coffee. And if you want to add a little collagen into your coffee, go ahead and do it.
Well, I see my sticker on the fridge, so I forgive you. You guys have room to improve, though. I give this coffee score a 3 on 10.
Yeah, that's not good. All right, let's get into the office.
Let's get into the office.
This is where all the money's made in the business. So.
Wow. Hello, bougie.
If Bree's gonna be in here all day, she wants it to look nice. She wants it exactly how she wants it. So.
Dude, it feels like Florida in here. You guys have it set at.
Yeah, it's got
a little heater.
I turned that on because I thought if we're gonna spend time here. Like,
does she watch Netflix all day, or what's going on?
Yeah. Actually, she plans on putting cameras here, and she's just gonna be sitting here like this, staring, making sure everyone's doing something.
So this is her office.
Actually, we all spend time. So Matt will sit here, Bree will sit here, and then sometimes I'll sit here, and that's why we got such a big. We had limited office space. So if we're all going to be here, we still all have a decent amount of room to work. But mainly Bree, every day. Mac, half the week. Me, 1 day a week. But yeah, it's not super ideal. We made this table actually. Got the wood from a local company, Trees Are My Business, another tree company. They mill all the wood that they cut down. So we got this big piece of red oak for like $800, and then sanded it, epoxied it.
That's beautiful.
Legs are made locally too. We had the legs made hairpinlegs.com, local here to Columbus.
Sweet.
I spent hours on these floors. When we came in here, there was like a nasty carpet. It smelled weird. It was all mildew. And Bree was like, "I'd rather work in our home office than work here." And I was like, "How do we make this?"
Let me fix it something.
Yeah.
Well, it looks great. So dropped in the ceiling and everything. So this is home base, and she'll take calls, I guess, through a cell phone, and then go through your single ops and schedule stuff and schedule codes for you, keep you in the loop. How many times per day you say your wife Bree calls you to talk about stuff?
Very infrequently, probably 2 or 3 times a day.
Okay.
Not too much. I am normally super busy, so Mac and Bree will probably talk more than I do, and the crew will talk to Mac more than they talk to me. Like I get from company people, I probably get between 3 and 6 calls a day, maybe.
Okay. So that's interesting. You want the crew calling. Will they be on the crew with him, or they might be on a separate crew and then they'll call him?
They might be on a separate crew, but Mac handles most of the calls that we get because normally they're questions about things that he knows about already, and then if I'm out doing consultations or meeting with clients or whatever, like I don't answer the phone anyway, so.
Makes a lot of sense. Sweet. So this is a pretty sweet room.
Yeah, I have some off-camera stuff to show you too. So I'm a big fan of single ops. It's really expensive though.
I mean, having a CRM is so important in this day and age. If you're still trying to like build sheets on Excel and stuff like that, you're never going to be able to keep up with trying to keep yourself more organized. Hire a company like Single Ops, Jobber, ServiceMate that is spending their job is to build a platform to be able to make our lives easier. So any platform you use, will make your life easier, and it's to find the right one. Like you showed me yours on service ops that you're able to attach pictures to that invoice form and checklist. I'm trying to get ServiceMate to do that. They don't have that yet, and that will be huge whenever we're able to get clients to pick and choose their services. But then that's not really good sometimes, because if they take it all, then sometimes they might say, hey, can I have a bit of a discount? Or if they only take the cheapest items, you might be going for no money. So I don't like necessarily giving the power into the client's hands. Have you had a bad experience of that?
Yes, actually, we just did a job for a client, a big oak tree, and this was on our old software, so it's different. But we quoted 2 oak trees in the front yard. One of them had a lot of deadwood. The other one had some clearance pruning, and we priced it pretty cheap. With our new software, now we're just doing a la carte style. Like, I'm looking at these 2 trees as if we're going to just do one of them. So
Yeah.
I'm pricing it on this one for us to make money on it if we're doing one, this to do it on 2. So if the client picks only one of them, at least we're not getting beaten up like we just did. So the option for our clients, is it the best? No, but it does give them a lot of control, and it makes clients feel like they have all the power when it comes to what's getting done.
Yeah.
We tell them about our minimum, so like we're not going to have to show up for a $125 job or $200 job. We do a fairly low minimum that we lose money every time we do the minimum, but we do a $350 minimum. All the clients are aware, so if someone approves something and it's $295 or whatever, like we will just call them and be like, hey, we're gonna have to charge you $350 no matter what for our minimum. So it is kind of annoying. We do also offer sometimes where it's included, like, so we don't have to give them the power. We could take that away. So like for that one proposal that I showed you where I tried to unclick those things, those were included. So those are automatic. They're in there. If they wanted to do add-ons, then you could do that. So if you go to someone's property and you're looking at their whole property, and at the end you're like, well, instead of me sending them a deep root fertilizer quote separately, or like kind of like soliciting it, or if you see something else like cabling that could be used, and it's not like 100% needed, but they could add it if they want to add the extra security, you just put that as optional. It will be unclicked. When the client looks at it, they'll see the price, and then they could just click it to add it on, and you can get a couple extra $100 to, you know, and be able to service people's trees better without being like pushy about it or trying to, you know, push it onto them or include it. So
that's a cool option. We don't have that yet with ServiceMate, and I do hope that gets implemented soon. They're a smaller company, smaller budget out of Australia, but they have been working super hard at what they've been doing. They come out with new updates every single year, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked for working another year with a partner like us. Any CRM is gonna make you money.
yeah, ServiceMate looks super cool. Thanks for showing me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, sweet. So now you're gonna be on here, and you got 20 minutes. So this is gonna be the 20-minute challenge, and we're gonna all learn about Phil. So I didn't tell you about this, but this is what I wanted to do. So this chair lasts 20 minutes.
Okay.
So you're gonna basically get grilled the entire time that this chair is on.